Hi Ashish, welcome to my show, Decoding the Indian Startup Stories. Our podcast is meant for the Indian startup ecosystem. I will be having founders, entrepreneurs, young and new, and other important stakeholders of the ecosystem who can share their journeys, experiences, and information for the benefit of the young budding entrepreneurs. So today, let's decode your story, Ashish.
Thank you, Surinder, for inviting me here, and it's lovely to converse with you today. Um, I'm very passionate about startup ecosystem, and let's unfold something which comes out in the conversation today.
Great, great. Ashish, I understand that you are from an IT background and you started your first venture in 1994. And I was wondering, today startup is a common word and it's a jargon or, it's a terminology. But in 1994, it was business as usual. There was nothing called startup, correct?
Yes, that's right. So in '94, startup was unheard. Even in US, this was not the word. Many people have been doing business just like people do business. So even if it happens to be a technology business, it was not called startup. And this terminology shifted after some time. I remember Pramod Haq, who had come from the US to India, and he was exploring some possibility of setting it up. But that was one of stray incident where he came and he was called venture capitalist. People did not hear the word venture capitalist.
Venture capital is correct.
Yeah, it was also not very prevalent in the Silicon Valley, but that probably was building up during that particular point in time. But I started, and it was a struggling journey to start with. '94, I was only 4 years experienced, and because my grandfather, who have very huge influence on me, because
Uh huh.
I lost my father very early in the life. So
Okay.
it's my grandfather who brought up us, and he has a lot of influence, and he was very wise man. So
Hmm.
many people used to come to consult him, and he's been giving me a lot of stories how to react, how to judge people, how to decipher people, because he was very good in this.
So
And
I think stories is something which I think today's generation might be missing. Huh?
of course, I think in case somebody can make other people know and the psychology of people is understood, I think that is a successful person. In fact, leaders do it all the time. But in business, in case people start doing that, and they have some success on their hand.
Yeah, see, you're right. People who understand people, they are normally successful in all areas of life. Forget business, personal life or social life or business life. You should understand people. People to people relationship is the key. And now, when you transform and put it into business, then you become a really good successful businessman.
Absolutely. I think that's the mantra. If even if in the startup ecosystem, in case somebody invests in other businesses, it is the people they see first. Maximum weightage they put it on the people, because business ideas, the models changes. It's not something which remains static. They are repivotings which happen, but people don't change. In case there is intrinsic strength in the people, they put money behind them.
आशीष आप बता रहे थे आपके ग्रैंडफादर के बारे में प्लीज कंटिन्यू ऑन दैट दैट वाज
Yeah,
क्वाइट
so
इंटरेस्टिंग
my grandfather always he's been a businessman, so he has always asked me or wanted me to do business, and it so happened that after because there was nobody in the family in IT, so I thought let me just dirty my hands on somebody else's shoulder, and I joined my first job in Indian Express, where I was in the IT, and I was part of the EDP department, Electronic Data
Yeah,
Processing
yeah, at
department.
that time it was called EDP. Mostly it was
Yes,
EDP,
yeah.
data processing, electronic data processing.
Yeah. So I joined them, did a lot of programming myself, and after 4 years, I thought I'm ready. So I just on 15th March 1994, I started my business.
No, but
And
what was that tipping point? Said, hey, I am ready. What was it like?
So the tipping point was that I've been enjoying my work. I think I have fond memories of my Indian Express days even till today. Even today, they are vivid. I'm in touch with many people there. Uh, what the trigger was, I joined them because I wanted to start on my
Hmm.
own, and there was nobody in the family to guide me that IT business ऐसा होता है. So
Uh-huh.
if I thought 4 years is good enough time, and now is the time to start. And ऐसा कोई मुहूर्त नहीं निकाला था, या फिर it was not something that I had given myself 4 years right in the beginning. It just so happened.
It just
And
so happened, yeah.
when it happened on 15th March to 1994, in fact, my grandfather was very happy, and I did the transition in such a manner that I had a part-time job, teaching job.
In parallel to what you were doing in Indian Express.
No, no. When I left Indian Express, I to support, because when I do business, there would not be any assurance of any income. So
Correct.
I thought, let me join a part-time teaching job, and I used to go at 7 and come back at 10. So I thought this time is also something which I would waste any which
In
way
the morning, in the morning.
in the morning.
Okay.
So I thought that would give me half the salary.
Okay.
And
Oh, that's good. That's good.
so,
So see, this is the what do you call that? What an entrepreneur is shows it. This is what an entrepreneur should be.
yeah, so this is a risk mitigation. I
Risk
thought,
mitigation
yeah. So
and catch hold of the low hanging fruit opportunities, utilize it. But
yeah,
yeah.
and I continued. I used to go at 7 o'clock. At that time, I purchased a bike, ESD,
Ah.
250 cc ESD bike, and my grandfather gave me that bike, and he used to pride that I am waking up at 7 or before that and going at 7. And it happened so much. I mean, he was so thrilled that after 26 days, he passed away.
Oh, that is sad. That
So,
is sad.
so
That is
on
sad.
11th of April, probably he
April.
was waiting for me to venture into my own business.
Could be. Could be.
So
Could
from
be.
15th March to 11th April, that was the period he has been seeing me going every day, and 11th April he passed away. But that gives me satisfaction. What he has aspired, I ventured into.
Great.
Now,
Great.
yeah, that was the
So
starting
we
of
can call him as your mentor also.
Of course, he is the biggest mentor.
Yeah.
His teachings are still applicable. In case we happen to be touching upon that particular point, I'll tell you what the wiseness and different things he has been able to point out in the people,
No,
which
Ashish, please, go deeper into it so that, this is what the younger generation should know, the people should know, an
see.
entrepreneur.
My grandfather has been a money lender, because he had a clothes shop in Chandni Chowk. Chandni Chowk is a wholesale market in Delhi. So he had a clothes shop. After my father's demise, he sold his shop and become a money lender. And when he has been lending, of course, they are all sort of people. Some people would not give the money back. Some people will give the money back. And he had probably honed that skill of judging people who would return back.
Great. The big skill.
Yeah, that's a big skill. And we went to a particular shop together. My grandfather used to take me when I was young. He used to take me to his clients many times. So he had given money to a wholesale utensil wala, bartan wala.
Okay. Bartan wala. Okay.
See, he was a wholesaler, and we were sitting, and he had one ethos or habit that whenever there was a customer of his customer, that means if his customer whom he has lended money is attending to his customer, he would sit silent.
Very good. There's a decency part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Supportive part of it.
So my his customer was attending to his customer, and he has been giving order a very long list of order that you give me so many number of pieces of such a utensil, so many of that, and my grandfather in my ear whispered that he is not going to take, or the shopkeeper will not give him anything. I just bypass what he said, but could not digest what he's saying and why he's saying.
Okay.
And when this client's client went away, because it was a wholesale order, it was to be delivered later,
Hmm. Hmm.
and
Hmm.
it is a credit business.
Hmm.
And when the client's client went away, the the client told my grandfather, "I'm not going to give him anything." And I was so amazed. My grandfather already told me such a thing, and now it has been confirmed that the client is not going to give the, the goods, even if it was probably a very big order,
Hmm.
and he's not going to give it to him. And I was very curious to know from my grandfather when we returned home. I asked him, "How did you get to know?"
And why?
And yeah, how did you get to know? What is the math? What is the logic? What came to your mind? What did you observe so that he said the, the callousness with which he has been ordering,
Hmm. Hmm.
the expression which he had on his face was reflecting that he's not going to return back the money,
Hmm. Hmm.
and that is he's not going to pay back the money for the goods he's ordering, and
Hmm.
that's also sensed by the shopkeeper. But shopkeeper probably has dealt with this particular customer, his customer earlier, so he
Hmm.
was probably aware, but my grandfather
Was
deciphered
not.
that signal. Yes,
Yeah.
so that was a very important signal, which I even remember today. And I think this personal chemistry is the only thing which remains constant. So I give a lot of importance to relationships. In case you have relationship, you have every other thing. In case many companies today, even Paytms or uh, Bread, everybody deals with creating that trust.
Hmm.
They are selling trust. In
Hmm.
case
Correct.
trust created between their customers, then they are able to sell much more, many more products through the same channel. So this trust creating business is the most important brand building exercise, and it takes a lot of money. In case you want to spoil it, it takes very little time to spoil it.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Yeah, I think trust is something because having traveled worldwide and lived, outside India, trust deficit in India is on higher scale. I can say that
Yeah.
because there are other communities, wherein, for example, you see, you have lived in Europe. When you drive around Europe, you can find people displaying their produces, vegetables or eggs or whatever it is, and they just put a board saying that so and so price, and there will be nobody to give it, dispense or take the money. So people come, take the product, put the money. So that kind of trust level. Forget that. Even self checkout counters, like Amazon is introduced self checkout counters in various parts of the world. But so that's because there is a trust factor. The people, it's mutual. To be honest, the trust factor in India is on the lower level.
Yeah. In fact, I live in North India. You live in South India. And
Yeah.
many people from South India don't do business with North Indians.
नो कमेंट्स यार अभी ऐसा ऐसा अभी क्या बोलते बॉलीवुड का तो खत्म हुआ नहीं है साउथ नॉर्थ फिल्म के बारे में आप इधर भी चालू कर दिया
नहीं, ये ट्रू है। बहुत सारे लोगों से मैं जब बात करता हूँ, बोलते हैं कहाँ रहते हो? मैं बोला दिल्ली में रहता हूँ। बोलते यार लेट्स डू द टर्म्स ऑन द कैश बेसिस इंस्टेड ऑफ प्रॉफिट बेसिस।
आई थिंक लेट्स ब्रिज इट देन वन डे आई डोंट नो
Actually, there is a culture of credit, and credit means people rotate money or do business with rotation of money of the others people. So that is probably the culture. It is probably the suaveness, smartness of some people, which has initially made this model, but I think it has been abused. So all sort of people exist.
आशीष ऐसा है ना सी एनीथिंग यू टेक गोल्ड यू टेक एनीथिंग everything has got good side of it and bad side of it. So if somebody wants to abuse a good model, okay, he will abuse it, and then black sheeps are found everywhere, no?
Yeah,
Black sheeps are found
absolutely.
everywhere.
You have been in Middle East. Do you think this is also prevalent? The trust creation exercise is easy in there.
Okay, see, but if let's look at uh, the Arabs. Let's put it this way: it's very difficult to get the trust of an Arab, but once you get it, it's 100%. It's not 99%. It is 0% or 100%. Once they trust you, it's blind trust. Okay, so but that is not the way. It's not the case here. It's easy over there. It's people are quite straightforward. To be honest, quite straightforward. It's not the other way around.
Okay.
And the population is less. Here we are talking of 1 billion plus population. There we are talking of a
Right.
10, 20, 30 million population. So this is different. And there's a history to it. Forget. No, we'll not touch that topic. I think let's leave that topic.
Okay.
यार बताओ अरे आपके फर्स्ट जर्नी के बारे में बताओ.
So this journey, which started in '94, has been topsy turvy. Even if I have been working with Indian Express, got the Indian Express as my first customer, because there were certain products I knew they need, and that's what I created. Made an offer to them, and they agreed. But I also created a few more products. So they were in travel. So we were a product company, travel and media. Media happens to be paper media because Indian Express I have worked, and that's the legacy, the knowledge, the domain I had understood. But intentionally we went to the travel because during that time digitization of travel, IRCTC did making e-tickets during that time was a very new thing. So intentionally we thought in case we can also do something in the travel would be good. So we created a software which was an order, custom developed order for a car rental company.
Okay.
So that was a very small effort. We could make this in 2 months' time, custom made it, give it to them. And since software and the businessman is any businessman works this way that in case you have something, try to monetize it much more. So I had the software and it has been custom made, but it's not that that time we have been talking of IP.
Proprietary नहीं है. You mean it's yours. You have made something for a customer, but it's ultimately yours.
Yes, it is mine. So there was no contention of IP, whose IP was it. So I showed it to another customer in the car.
But before, I need to touch on one topic here. See, you talked about an idea initially, media and then press. Okay,
Travel.
no travel.
Yeah.
Now that was your idea. Now you're talking of a product. So आज की भाषा में MVP, minimum viable product. This is what you're talking about. I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. So when the first development took place, it was a project.
Okay.
It was an assigned project. They hired me,
So it's
and
a paid project. Paid
it was
project.
a paid project.
Okay.
But
Okay.
this was there was no mention of whose IP was it, and so that default it came to me.
Okay.
So it was a project which I converted into a product because right in the beginning, I thought they are going to be many more people who would be needing such a product. Car rental, there are many car rental companies, and once I create made it for first customer, I showed it to the second, and happily means in 3 days time he also took it. When
Okay.
I showed it to the third customer, he also happily took it. That gave me the confidence that make a full-fledged product because right now it was very custom project. If from the project to a product, there were a lot of customization, lot of parameterization, lot of generalization which was to be done so that it can cater to multiple such people. And that's what I started doing. And
Uh,
thereafter,
just and you worked independently, or you had a team to support, or कैसा था?
yeah, started with one person, which with besides me. So when I started my business, we were two people, and slowly we grew. And at the time, we had many people and low people. It all depended on how many people, how many projects we had at that particular point in time. But largely, we were very stable company having products business giving us more than 80% of the revenue.
So यहाँ पे I need to ask you, any did you get any funding or it was all the customers were paying you?
Yeah, so it was co-creation exercise. I think that is every startup founder should do is mm, don't create the product in silo, because the topmost reason for failure in the startup, which I am analyzing these days, is that people or founders make products based on their gut feeling, based
Mhm,
on whatever research they have done.
mhm,
When they go into the market and try selling that product, nobody wants it,
mhm,
or nobody wants it at a price which they have created.
mhm.
So, and or there are better alternatives already available in the market.
Already available in the market, yeah. Product
So,
market fit, what we talk about it in the
yeah,
term, yeah.
product market fit is missing. People make the product assuming that it would be sold like a hotcake because they are creating a product unmindful of whether the similar products are exist in the market. If similar products don't exist in the market, does not mean there is a
D- demand, there's a demand.
demand for such a product. Yeah.
Yeah, basically it's a closed loop system. You need to make something, go to the customer, get their feedback, tweak it, and again go back. So this cycle has to continue, because if you do it in silo and say, okay, this is my product, you take it, and this is the price, maybe that's where the failure comes into it.
Yeah, so that is why I always tell my startups go to go for a co-creation model, because I already have tasted success because of that. Co-creation is you sit with your customer, they would tell the domain knowledge which you don't have, and this co-creation is because customer will tell you the practical aspects, what is the business is. He has already been into the business for many years. When you do the simulation and think from your mind, you may not be accurate. And if customer co-creates, sit with you and tell that this is to be done in this particular manner, it is a better product creation.
Correct,
So
correct. I agree. I think even for what we can see in a public sector companies, or major corporations today, they have a lot of gaps. So if the startup founders can sit with these people and address the issues wherein there is gaps, it will be a more of a co-creation rather than yeah, making a product. And okay, initially there's no harm. You can make your own product with your own ideas, but is always ultimately you'll have to go to the market. The market is the one which decides, whether they want it or not.
And second thing is, people make the product and make an Amitabh Bachchan of that product or Rajnikant of that product. They keep on making the product so good. वो सोचते हैं कि अगर प्रोडक्ट अच्छा होगा, बहुत अच्छा बना लेंगे तो उसके बाद बिक जाएगा ऑटोमेटिकली. ऐसा होता नहीं.
तो कॉस्ट बढ़ते जाते हैं, कॉस्ट बढ़ते जाते हैं. या दैट्स समथिंग विच द मेन थिंग इज फाउंडर्स आर दे कॉन्सेंट्रेट ऑन टेक्नोलॉजी, दे कॉन्सेंट्रेट ऑन द प्रोडक्ट. जैसे आपने बताया, प्रोडक्ट को अमिताभ बच्चन रजनीकांत बनाने के चक्कर में दे मिस द रियल टारगेट, दे मिस द रियल टारगेट.
Actually, and in fact, if you are making a mistake and you make an Amitabh Bachchan of that mistake, the mistake would
My
be
God.
highlighted.
Yeah, correct, correct, correct. Yeah, so that's what we said. कि एक loop, close loop. You need to get a feedback. Constant feedback is required. Mentoring is required.
And it is better to create a minimum viable product. Minimum viable product is one small functionality which is sufficient as a value for any potential customer. Make that much and launch it.
Correct.
Because if you see Microsoft Windows, it was not created in a big bang fashion. When it was created, Microsoft Windows was created with 95 as a version, 98 XP. Then it came multiple more
Seven,
plus. Yeah,
seven.
so
Yeah.
that means even big companies like Microsoft, if they can not make a big bang of a software or a product, how can a small company can
Correct.
think of creating such a product? So it has to be a gradual approach. Create in such a manner that at least there is a value. Somebody will use it and make use of it. If that is the happy path, you can create in a product, launch it.
And then after you created your various products, so what was the next stage or step for you?
Yeah. So what happened? we've not been selling our product, but because of word of mouth, because this industry is very close knit, the travel car rental industry. If we have been successfully catering to one customer, other customers already automatically been coming to us. So it was low on marketing, and we've been supporting and creating the product and putting our all effort into creation of a better product, and that happened from 94 to 1997.
3 years.
three
Okay.
years 3 years we continued to invest more in product than in marketing, and we grew to have over 200 customers.
Wow, that's great. In 97.
Yeah, in 97, 98, we grew to 200 customers,
Hmm.
including Avis India and Malaysia,
Hmm.
including Hertz,
Okay.
including Auto Riders, and many very big companies.
Okay. Okay. That's great. So with minimum marketing and sales, that's what the key
With
point is.
minimum marketing and sales, because we focused on satisfying our customers.
Great. So that's a great,
And
great new takeaway that once your customer is satisfied, word of mouth is much more than your sales and marketing effort.
absolutely. And in fact, we would provide a lot of value, a lot of expenses in supporting our customers initially, because in case they had a requirement, we've not been at times charging them as much as we would spend on supporting them. But that worked. That worked.
Yeah, that's very important. Once you support your
Yeah.
client, automatically, you build that relationship. It's a long-term relationship.
Yeah, so this was going on, and we grew to 62 people company,
Hmm.
and in 2000 we since we had built up a lot of cash, uh, I have been asking people, my friends, what do I do next?
Hmm.
And many people have been saying, I remember one friend telling me, think big. Think big. Think big. What is the magic formula for thinking big?
Okay.
Even if I think big, I would approach global customers or big customers in a different segment. They would not purchase it from me. Uh, I thought maybe ISO certification is necessary to look big,
Mm.
or there is some more branding needed. But we didn't have that much of course. We were sustaining, and uh, 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 slowly and slowly we have been putting back all our money into new product development. In 98 also we started developing a product with lot of cash accumulated from the business, and invested in that product creation. And this was a window version of our software, Traveler. It was called Traveler, the
Traveler.
car
Okay.
rental ERP, car rental ERP, because that is the new version we wanted to take to the world. And it was ready in nearly 2000, 2001. And when we made this ready, we started selling the new version and defocusing on the old version. uh, the newer version was because we had by that time developed so much of domain expertise that people have been taking without any without questioning us.
Questions. Yeah.
That
The
yeah,
credibility was already
yeah,
established.
credibility was established. Some customers were existing customers, some were new customers. Whenever they see that this is a software, they would say that you already knew the market more than they know the market, and they would readily take it. Only discussion was how much you would take, and how much they would pay. In case they were not able to pay in one go, we had many different models to charge them. Now, we sold it to few new customers, the new version, but 9 by 11 happened in
Oh my
2001,
God.
and the travel market just came to a standstill. And we, having global aspirations and having invested all our cash, with cash into the product development, we struggled with the cash flow.
Yeah, understandably, because the market is comes to a standstill. Okay.
Yeah, so between 2001 and 2004, we have been struggling because the ready cash was not available, the new customer was sluggish. So we did a lot of projects instead of products.
Yeah, I need to ask you one thing here. One important thing is just coming to my mind. Till now, you haven't mentioned about any funding requirement coming from outside, any big
Yeah.
funder, banks, debts. So can you just elaborate or throw light on this because this is very important for people to understand.
We never took external money.
Hmm.
We did not we did not need any internal money either. It was all
So
accrued money. That means we generated from the business, invested into the business.
yeah, so what I need to understand is your customer initially paid for the projects.
Yeah.
So
Our
this is the
customer
beauty
paid
of
for
co-creation. That is,
absolutely.
yeah, your products will be satisfying the customer needs. A, B, you will be funded by the customer himself. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, see that time, whatever what modes were available as an external funding to the business were the debt. बैंक
That.
से ही लोन ले सकते थे. So
Ah,
हमारा बैंक से ओडी चलता था.
ah,
बैंक has been giving us overdraft limit. There were few personal investors. किसी महीने कैश कम पड़ गया तो उनसे ले लेते थे, उनको वापस
ah.
कर देते थे.
Friends and
But
family जो बोलते हैं ना
फैमिली एंड
उसको.
फ्रेंड्स, हाँ, तो
हाँ
उसी
हाँ.
से उसी तरह से चलता था. देयर वाज नो वेंचर कैपिटलिस्ट, देयर वाज नो
No
एंजल
angel
इन्वेस्टर.
investors.
और वो कोई सोचता भी नहीं था कि कोई इस तरह से पैसे ले लेगा, मिल
Ah,
जाएगा ऐसा. लेकिन उस समय ये सब कंपनीज जो अमेजोन एंड फ्लिपकार्ट एंड ऑल दोस कंपनीज हैड स्टार्टेड coming there. I mean, we used to hear these stories in the media कि इस तरह के लोग आ गए हैं. लेकिन हमारे को वो वेयरविदल नहीं पता था कि उनके पास जाना कैसे.
जाना कैसा है. हाँ, जो जैसे कि आज बताते हैं कि इन्वेस्टर पिच डेक, वो तो नहीं था उस जमाने में.
इन्वेस्टर पेज देख हमें पता ही नहीं था. हम तो
पता
अपने
ही नहीं
बिजनेस
था.
को
हाँ,
ट्रेडिशनल मेथड से
सही है,
चला रहे
सही
थे.
है, सही है. हाँ
बट हाँ, उसका बहुत ज्यादा डायर नीड भी समझ में नहीं आया. लेकिन
हाँ
मेरे को
हाँ.
लगता है आई कम टू दैट कि उसका अच्छा ही क्या है अगर आप किसी दूसरे से पैसा ले. बट हमने कभी नहीं लिया.
हम्म.
और 2001 से 2004 तक we were creating we were generating business as projects and doing that, and it was the money for sustenance. तो 2001 में अपॉर्चुनिटी आई कि क्रोशियन कंपनी, बिकॉज हमारा प्रोडक्ट क्योंकि डोमेन एक्सपर्टाइज होने की वजह से एंड इट वाज अ ग्लोबल पर्सपेक्टिव, द प्रोडक्ट व्हिच वी मेड इट वाज फॉर ट्रैवल एजेंट्स आइटनरी क्रिएशन.
Itinerary creation, okay.
So during that particular point in time, 98 to 2001, we have created two products. One is the car rental ERP on Windows, and second is the itinerary creation. Itinerary creation is a collaborative effort. ट्रैवल एजेंट्स को बहुत सारी ऑप्शंस होती हैं और ऑप्शंस के बेसिस पे आइटनरी क्रिएशन करनी पड़ती है. वो जो बैकएंड पे B2B बैकएंड पे आइटनरी क्रिएशन करते हैं, उनके पास बड़ा सोफिस्टिकेटेड सिस्टम्स होते हैं. अगर मेक माई ट्रिप देखें तो उनके पास सोफिस्टिकेटेड सिस्टम है. इस तरह यात्रा के पास बहुत अच्छा सिस्टम है. हमने वो बना लिया था. और 2004 में ये अपॉर्चुनिटी आई कि एक क्रोशियन कंपनी हमारे को वो सॉफ्टवेयर देखे और बोलते हैं कि हम ये सॉफ्टवेयर लेंगे. You want to
They will
buy
buy
it?
you out. They will buy you out.
Yeah, they don't wanted to buy out our company. They wanted to buy out that product.
Product. Okay. Okay.
Because along with the company, there were many other products which they were not interested in. They were interested in only one product.
Okay.
Between March 1994, March 2004 to September 2004, that was the due diligence process and hand holding and support given to them, training to their employees. And in September 2004, I came out of that business.
So आज की भाषा में you had a successful exit.
Yes, so that is even that time we did not realize it was an exit.
नहीं नहीं, मैं इसलिए बोला आज की भाषा में. No.
बिल्कुल, आज की भाषा में उसको एग्जिट कहेंगे. और
A successful exit. So I need to use a word.
yeah, yeah. So that is how the first journey happened. But important lessons are there are many mistakes which we did in our business. Thinking back today, I probably have grown my perspective better than the last time. And now, if I think, there are many mistakes which we did.
Quite normal. Every human being, every business people do mistakes.
Absolutely. And even the perspective at that particular point in time was very short and narrow. When my friends used to think big, I have not been realizing what thinking big means. And this is something which has always been pinching me. People have been giving advice, but I did not know how to translate that advice into action.
Ashish, if I mention that, are you talking of scaling up your company or going for new opportunities?
It is the scaling of the company because the kind of products which we had, अगर
Hmm.
आज के दिन वो products मेरे पास होते तो we
Hmm.
would have been make my trip.
Wow, wow, that's great. Got it.
तो वो हमारे पास कैपेबिलिटी थी, वी यू हैड डोमेन नॉलेज. 1.5 साल पहले तक मेक माई ट्रिप का जो सॉफ्टवेयर था, आई
Hmm.
हैव बीन यूजिंग मेक माई ट्रिप टू बुक माई ट्रैवल आइटिनरीज और क्रिएट माई ओन आइटिनरीज. 1.5 साल पहले तक उनका जो सॉफ्टवेयर था, इट वॉज इंफीरियर टू आर प्रोडक्ट. आज के
In
दिन अब
2004, in 2004,
नो, अभी डेढ़
compare.
साल तक, अभी
हाँ,
डेढ़
नहीं
साल
नहीं,
तक था, 2020
डेढ़.
तक. बिफोर कोविड उनका सॉफ्टवेयर इतना अच्छा नहीं था कि हमने जो 2004 में बना
हाँ,
दिया था.
वही मैं बोल रहा था, आपकी जो
We were
सॉफ्टवेयर था
15 years.
2004 में, दैट वाज मच सुपीरियर टू व्हाट द.
Absolutely.
ओके.
We were 15 years ahead to make my trip. आज के दिन make my trip का सॉफ्टवेयर इज ब्यूटीफुल. मतलब
Sir,
मैंने
Ashish, when you say you're 15 years ahead, so is it a question of timing where you much ahead? Was your product ahead of the time?
yes, we were ahead. And
So that
when
way, timing is.
I think two things. One, we were ahead of our time. Second, we did not have that perspective of a global format, which current set of founders or current set of investor combination with founders
That's the
has
correct word.
enabled. So this perspective of having the mentors from the senior background, investors from venture capitalists or angel groups, co-creating it with founders
Founders.
probably gives a combination of converting this thinking or idea into actions. It is
Correct.
much better a format. When I said हमने कभी जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ी इन्वेस्टर से पैसे मांगने की, मुझे लगता है कि इन्वेस्टर से पैसे मांगना अच्छी बात है. क्योंकि अगर इन्वेस्टर के पैसे लगे हैं तो ही इज ऑल्सो थिंकिंग फॉर यू, थिंकिंग फॉर योर बिजनेस. He is also exploring his connections and making those connections available to the founder. All this perspective, the combined joint perspective, rather than working in silo, helps the business.
Yeah, we can say a collaborative effort. I think the word is collaboration because earlier people were afraid to collaborate. They were within their boundaries. Now everybody is talking of collaboration, be it VCs, founders, or or technocrats, or mentors, or advisors. Yeah, good. Anyway,
So,
but now I think from there you moved on to your last venture.
I joined the job because having made money from the first venture, I did not want to immediately start the second venture.
Okay,
So
okay, okay. So
I
you
joined.
from your first venture you went back to a job.
Yeah. So
Oh.
I joined an American company. They wanted to set their GDC, which is Global Delivery Center in India,
Mm-hmm.
and I was their third employee to set it up. In fact, I'm fortunate to have worked with Arun Sinha. Arun Sinha
Mm-hmm.
has been MD of Acer Computers
Okay.
in India, and he was the MD of this company. So Arun Sinha, Naveen Kumar, and I was third employee. We three and a whole gang of other set of people. Subsequent to when I joined, we created the delivery center for that American company in India and made it from zero to currently at I think more than 5,000 people in India.
Oh, great.
Uh,
That's huge. That's huge.
right. And I was with them for 2 years. In 2006, I joined another company, which is a British company taken over in 2009 by a French company. And in 2013, it merged with another French company. So I joined this British company, had again an entrepreneurial mindset. It was run by Saurabh Srivastava.
Hmm.
It was Saurabh's company. Saurabh
Okay.
Srivastava is is considered very highly in the ecosystem, in the startup ecosystem. He has created things like NASCOM. He has created TIE. He has created Indian Angel Network. So he's a very
Yeah.
entrepreneurial set of a kind of a person. And he also created Zansa, which I joined in 2006. So the culture there was very entrepreneurial, and I joined in the technical capacity, then moved into the managerial capacity. And when this merger happened, I was given the business development uh, uh, work in the Central Europe, which is Benelux and
Okay.
Germany.
Okay.
So I've been offshoring. And one thing which I would like to mention here, when you are an entrepreneur, that is, I have been entrepreneur for 10 years, 94 to 2004. When once you are an entrepreneur, you are entrepreneur forever.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's there in the blood, you know.
वो
Uh,
कीड़ा मरता नहीं है.
अरे मैं बोलता आग बुझता नहीं यार, पूरी डिफरेंट वे आग बुझता नहीं है.
So you
पॉजिटिव
are an
सोचते हैं हम.
entrepreneur also, Surinder. So you would understand this
Yeah,
philosophy.
यार that's what I am an entrepreneur now talking to you.
तो ये चीज़ जो है in 2013 I have been talking to our European customers, which were very very big customers. We have never been taking less than 50 million euro worth of accounts. That means all our customers has to give us at least 50 million euro per year revenue, and then only we would qualify that customer to be taking into us.
Okay.
And we were talking of big banks like BNP Paribas, Barclays, Commerce Bank, many utility companies. Even Antwerp Diamond Bank was my customer.
Okay.
Uh, lot of retail chains like Tesco and Costco. Now, these people have been giving us a lot of business. We've been giving excellent IT services to them, but they always have been asking us that we, as a IT company, and this is a 42,000 people company. This is present only in Europe and is not present consciously in US. So this company, French company called Sopra Steria, if I can name, um, this is uh, has been catering to a lot of customers and satisfying their IT needs, but they have been demanding and they started getting very agitated from the onslaught of the startups, because startups had also come in the Europe and creeping and penetrating and eating their business. So they always have been, they for some time they've been saying, give us the trend. You have multiple customers in the same segment. Give us the sense of what is disrupting in their sector, and that's where a position of head of innovation created in India. I managed that position. Started interacting with startups again in 2013,
Okay.
and
So
again,
now the definition startups is already relevant in India in 2013, because you
yes.
know, yeah,
In
Flipkart
fact,
and other people, yeah.
yeah. So 2013 में startup करके word था.
हाँ
I have
हाँ.
been interacting in
Yes,
my
yes.
corporate job with startups during that particular point in time. Or startup board, which I am currently managing, it was dormant from 2013 to 2017.
Okay.
Started in 2013, February 2013. It was registered company in 2013 February.
तो आपको आइडिया कैसे आ गया कि पहले यू डिड योर एंटरप्रेन्योर स्किल, देन यू वेंट टू ए जॉब 2013 अगेन, जैसा आपने बताया कि वो कीड़ा मरता नहीं है, तो वो आग कैसे लगी आपको वापस?
एक्चुअली मुझे जब मैं 2013 में ये हमारी हेड ऑफ इनोवेशन पोजीशन क्रिएट हुई, तो मैंने स्टार्टअप से जब इंटरेक्ट करना शुरू किया, तो आई अंडरस्टूड अनदर थिंग, दैट नेक्स्ट रिवॉल्यूशन वुड बी स्टार्टअप. क्योंकि आईटी में भी जिस समय मैंने ज्वाइन किया था, समटाइम इन 90 89 90, आईटी वाज जस्ट स्टार्टिंग इन इंडिया.
करेक्ट. करेक्ट.
सो उस समय भी बहुत सारे लोग बोलते थे कि इधर चले जाओ, इस वाली लाइन में चले जाओ, दैट वुड बी बेटर. बट आई grew interest in IT that time, and that is what probably a quality of an entrepreneur. Generally, entrepreneurs sense opportunities early on.
Correct. Yeah, correct. They,
तो
they,
मुझे
they grab the low hanging fruit, or they take care of,
yeah.
they hold the opportunity. Yeah.
तो आई मुझे लग गया था 2013 में, फरवरी 2013 में मैं अपनी कंपनी, प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी रजिस्टर्ड इन अहमदाबाद बना पाया। ये इसी वजह से बना पाया कि आई फेल्ट लेट मी डू समथिंग इन पैरेलल टू माय करंट जॉब, और किसी समय आई लीव इट। सो इट टुक मी 4 years टू लीव दैट जॉब,
From
2013 to
2013
7 to
17. Acha.
17. In 17, I've been full time into this, but in parallel from 18 also, I have been running an incubator, and that was in parallel to the startup board initiative which I have been doing. Uh,
So, incubator के बारे में, what kind of incubator? Where do you run it?
okay, so in 2017, when I plunged and left that corporate MNC job, I started doing accelerators. So accelerators are certain specific, very short duration, but very deep engagement with founders, so that you grow them. What they would do, the growth in 1 year, you grow them in 3 months.
Can you elaborate on that? For the benefit of the new entrepreneurs.
So acceleration is, as the name also suggests, it is a prevalent word in the startup ecosystem. One is the
Yep.
incubation. Incubation
Correct.
is slow and steady. So they are physical incubators available who provide you some support every time founder needs, or incubator managers looks at the founder based on the needs and give the intervention that in there. But accelerator is, let's say, 12 weeks program, 16 weeks program, and it is supported by a review of all your strategic plans. It could be business strategy, it could be the product review, it could be the competitive analysis, it could be your positioning, it could be pricing, it could be how you are going to market, so go to market strategy. It also means what features you want to highlight, that means your communication plan. In 3 months time, you bring in lot of experts and run this program with the help of making founders know where do they stand and help them correct during this course. So whatever founders, as I mentioned earlier, in my own venture, I had a perspective problem. I
Correct.
haven't been thinking big enough. So there was a perspective problem, because whatever I knew, I've been doing that way. But had I knew somebody else thought that this is also possible in the world, I probably would have expanded that way, or made my thinking process into actions.
Good. So
This
it's
is
very good, very nice of you, to apply what you missed, and you're telling bringing it to the younger new generation entrepreneurs, saying, "Hey, I did a mistake. Now, please don't do that mistake, and I'm here to support you on that." Great.
absolutely. So that is what I did. My program name was Able to Enable,
Able to enable. Okay.
and this was done in 17, 18. And thereafter, when I become CEO of an incubator in Noida, this is the place where I got some bandwidth to do this accelerator program year after year, and government also supported us. That time, we gave the name Electrify. So we did it in 2018, 19, 19, 20, 2021.
Great.
And um, this year, that means current year 2022, I also have the fifth version of the accelerator program. It's named as TSB Boardroom, the startup boardroom,
Startup boardroom. ESB boardroom. Okay.
TSB Boardroom. So that's the program name. We have been running this program, and it is very successful, because those interventions in all these five programs, we have nurtured nearly about 65 people, 65 ventures. And the success rate of these 65 is nearly, if I remove the 15 which is in the current batch, because that result hasn't come, but those 50, 40 are live companies. That means they have not shut down their business. Otherwise, in 3 years' time, most businesses shut down, and the ratio is 90%, 88% businesses shut down within 3 years. These companies have run their businesses at least for 3 years or more.
And what about the funding? Have they reached the funding stage?
They have reached the funding stage. We have also included demo days for all of these companies. And let me tell you, I am a firm believer. The, the funding is incidental. Many
Hmm.
people make business because they want to go for funding, but investors are very, very smart people. If in case you got to invest out of your own pocket, you would get smarter. If you
Obviously,
probably made a
obviously.
mistake, if you made a mistake first time, probably second time, third time, you would get smarter.
Hmm,
So
correct.
these are smart people. They would get to know whether you are only scouting for investment, you are in the market for investment, or you are in the market for doing the business.
Business, doing business, a
वो पता
serious
चल जाता है.
business. पता चल जाता है अरे यार. See, you should understand an investor who has made money, it's not just because of sheer luck or lottery. He has worked hard in his early years and then he has really come to that stage. So it is people has have to think otherwise that when they want 10x return, they are 100x smarter. That's what I would say.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's no doubt about that. They are smarter people. Maybe there are also journeys. Each investor would make a mistake right in the initial go, but ultimately they get smarter. Moreover, this investor community is very close knit community.
Yeah,
Everybody knows every other person, every other
correct.
investor. So
Correct.
if you have made some wrong things with one investor, the feedback spreads to the whole community.
Absolutely. And it is required. I would say it is required. I would say it is
It is
required.
also required.
Yeah, to
So
keep it
in case,
clean.
yeah. So founders also need to understand. ऐसा नहीं है कि एक जगह से नहीं मिला दूसरी जगह जाके ले लेंगे, एक
ले
जगह से
लेंगे.
कुछ बात खराब हो गई तो दूसरी जगह जाके ले लेंगे, ऐसा होता नहीं. You got to be very consistent in your business and let business speak all by itself. I'll give you an example. जैसे कि एक वाओ मोमोज करके कंपनी है,
Wow momos, okay.
WOW वाओ मोमोज.
दो दो है दो हैंड कार्ट वाला फ्रेंचाइजी वही है क्या?
वो उनका हेड कार्ड भी है और शॉप्स भी हैं,
अच्छा
आउटलेट्स
अच्छा
भी हैं.
अच्छा. हाँ हाँ हाँ.
तो दे स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम कैलकाटा.
Hmm.
They went to a particular investing group, and they said we want to make this business.
Hmm.
Most people in the startup ecosystem, most investors in the startup ecosystem started with investing in IT companies.
Yeah, mainly IT, mainly IT. Yeah, IT
तो
related.
ये जो वाओ मोमोज है, ये तो आईटी नहीं है, ये तो
Hmm.
मोमो बना रहा है.
फिजिकल
मोमोज
है.
तो हाँ, मोमोज तो बहुत दिनों से बन रहे हैं, अब इसमें ऐसा क्या करोगे जो हम आप में वैसे लगा दें. तो दिस investment group did not make the investment.
Hmm.
Second time, because then there was say after 6 months there was some change in the market reaction. This person again approached those investors, set of investors.
Hmm.
I'm already making move. I have already created my first store in Calcutta,
Hmm.
and I've been doing good.
Hmm.
I need more money for expansion.
Hmm.
Would you like to invest?
Hmm.
Now, this company and this investment group again said, okay, what valuation would you come at? कितना पैसा चाहिए, कितनी valuation पे कितना equity दे दोगे? So he mentioned something which the investment group offered at one third.
Hmm. Okay.
He refused. The founder refused that I would not take money at one third.
वैल्यूएशन का चक्कर हो गया. वैल्यूएशन का
Valuation.
डेफिनेशन. या
So
वैल्यू
I
नहीं,
told
वैल्यूएशन
them
का.
valuation का concept
चक्कर
का
हो गया.
difference of opinion हो गया.
ओपिनियन हो गया. हाँ.
He was not stopping. He was creating his business. Started. He has been doing one good thing, which I also want to tell every founder. Whatever you are doing, in case you are disheartened or you are refused by one investor, it is not the end of the journey.
करेक्ट. करेक्ट.
You keep on informing those set of investors that you are doing this. Today you have done this. This is the update. Keep on sending them the update without any expectation.
करेक्ट.
हो सकता है कल वो इंटरेस्टेड हो जाए. So same thing happened with Wow Momos. After opening the second shop in Calcutta, he sent a communication. We have started with the second shop, second outlet. Now, this investment group, since they have been observing, they thought let's send two people there, Calcutta, क्योंकि दिल्ली based है वो. दो लोगों को उन्होंने भेजा. वो फर्स्ट स्टोर में गए, वहां देखा यार वाओ मोमोज की लाइन लगी हुई है. वाओ मोमोज लेने के लिए लोगों को लाइन लगी हुई है. लाइन लगी हुई है यार. वाओ मोमोज तो ऐसे ही बिकते थे, अब ये लाइन लगा के क्यों बिक रहे हैं? They went to the second store, same situation, line like that. They came back to Delhi and made an offer. Made an offer of one half of what the expectation of the founder was. Founder refused.
वन थर्ड से वन हाफ हाफ पे चला गया.
अभी ये वैल्यूएशन बढ़ गई है. मतलब
हाँ
वो
पता है.
एक्स एक्स भी वाई बन गया है.
अच्छा एक्स बी वाई बन गया, उसका आधा हो गया.
So these people refused. Founder refused. 6 महीने के बाद both agreed to a valuation which the founder wanted.
Wow. Well, that's something. That's something great. Yeah, that's something great. So you
And
stick to your guns if you have faith in yourself.
absolutely. So the good thing with which the founder has been doing was it was not stopping because of non-availability of
Your
funding.
funds.
He's been making funding available through any other means, not the angel investment, but वो लोन ले रहा था. कुछ और
FFF route.
फैमिली एंड फ्रेंड्स से ले रहा था, लेकिन वो बिजनेस करने में अपना पूरा पैशन लगा रहा था. दिस इज अनदर लेसन व्हिच आई वुड लाइक टू टेल द फाउंडर्स हियर. In case you are doing business and doing and scaling business and doing it only because once you get the money then you will do business, I think it would never work.
It's a
You
wrong
do
message.
business,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
a wrong
you do
signal.
business, money will come. If
Correct.
it doesn't come, make an alternative arrangements and money will come subsequently from the first source where you wanted it from. So that is the message. Most people are scouting, shopping money in the market, and they are always struggling, except not a few cases. But most people would make money, would get the investment in case they are concentrating on their business. This is the
Correct.
plain and simple truth. Those founders who understand this early on, they're happy. Those who are oblivious of this particular fact, that in case they make an effort to more number of investors, they are likely to get it would not happen, because first all the investors or most of the investors are interlinked. They have their own networks. Any bad news spreads like wildfire, and once they have typecasted a founder that this founder is not concentrating on their business and business is not likely to grow, you would never get money.
So trust factor is also important. Trust factor.
Yeah, trust factor, and that is also reflected in your actions. In
Correct.
case अगर आप business के ऊपर concentrate कर रहे हो, आप business कर रहे हो, धीरे कर रहे हो, that's fine. They understand कि अगर ज़्यादा पैसे आ जाएंगे तो आप जल्दी कर पाओगे.
Correct. 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 So in a nutshell, आप अपने पैसे लगाओ, अपने passion full fledged लगाओ, concentrate करो, traction बनाओ, and then in parallel you do your hunting for money.
Yeah, absolutely. Money is for growth. So, in case you want external money, this is not for validation. Many
Correct.
startup founders today, out of college, they say, हम हमारे पास ये आइडिया है, हम स्टार्ट करेंगे जब हमारे पास पैसे आ जाएंगे, कोई इन्वेस्ट
That's
कर
a
देगा. मैं बोला ऐसा नहीं चलता.
नहीं चलता. It's a
ऐसे
wrong
नहीं चलता.
statement. It's a wrong
अगर
statement. So,
बिल्कुल इट इज अ रॉन्ग स्टेटमेंट. अगर आपको बिजनेस करना है तो आपको एक मिनिमम वायबल प्रोडक्ट बना लो. कैसे बनाओगे, उसके लिए पैसे आपको जुटाने हैं. यू आर ए बिजनेसमैन. इन केस
correct.
यू एक्ट लाइक ए बिजनेसमैन, बी ए बिजनेसमैन. तो अगर आपको मिनिमम वायबल प्रोडक्ट बनाने के लिए कुछ पैसे लगाने पड़ेंगे तो उसका इंतजाम पहले आपको करना पड़ेगा. वो जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. अगर आप कुछ बना पाए तो वो आप दिखा सकोगे और लोगों को कन्विंस करने में आसानी हो जाएगी.
That's correct. Absolutely. Well said, Ashish. Well said. Because I think that is the message which has to go to the startup founders or who want to be founders, because there is a wrong notion that yes, idea है हमारे पास, angel networks है, seed funding मिल जाएगी, नहीं तो angel VC VC funding मिल जाएगी. These are all dreams, which people just built upon thin hair. I think message has to go. If you're serious in business, family, friends, bootstrapping, come out with a minimal viable product, do show some traction, show your passion, show integrity, then automatically, you will have investors.
Of course, investors are roaming around with their money and they are looking for quality founders and quality ventures. पैसे की कमी नहीं है, पैसे बहुत आ गए हैं इंडिया में. Many companies, many countries, many investors are coming to India because there is a huge market as well as huge technical availability of people who can create such scalable businesses. People have started talking make in India, made for the world.
Make for
And
the world.
why is it happening? Because अगर इंडिया में बनाया तो फ्रूगली कम पैसे में बन जाएगा, क्योंकि वो अगर इंडियन कस्टमर को सेटिस्फाई करना है तो यू हैव टू बी वेरी वेरी माइजर इन
Competitive
योर अप्रोच. तो
approach.
आपका प्रोडक्ट का कॉस्ट ऐसा होना चाहिए कि वो छोट जो इंडिया के कस्टमर्स हैं वो भी अफोर्ड कर पाए. अगर वो इंडिया के कस्टमर को अफोर्डेबल बना देता है प्रोडक्ट को, तो ऑफ कोर्स
Automatic world में चला
वर्ल्ड
जाए.
वाइड वो अपने आप से बन जाएगा.
Good, Ashish. It was great. You really gave some beautiful insights to the founders or yet to be founders. What is the initial steps, slow and steady steps, and how to grow, scale up, and how to become successful. So I'm very happy. That you came on my show. You spend quality good time. So and thank you very much, and I wish you all the best for your ventures.
Thank you, Surinder, for giving me this opportunity to talk to you. And I loved the conversation with you, and would like to even again cajole every founder. In case you are very passionate about your business, then only venture into it. Don't just do it from the glamour perspective that you want to do startup just for the sake of creating a startup. You would be wasting your time.
Okay, thank you, Ashish.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure.